discretion is advised.
Hey everyone! Welcome back to Board Games Unlocked, and we are continuing with our top 100 games of all time. If you didn't notice, last segment, Brad and I went through our 70 through 61 because we had recorded previously, and I just didn't hit the button. And Kat wasn't there for that because why would she? But she's here.
Because I already sat through it.
She already sat through it for no reason. But she is here for negative commentary on all my games.
If it makes it in.
If it makes it in. But I bet you could not think of a single negative for any one of these games because they are all gold.
Well, I'm pretty...
Actually,
I'll take that bet.
I'm pretty...
I just looked at the very last one. I'm like, never mind.
She hates it. Well, I can't wait for your last one then.
Great.
All right,
so,
number 60. Here we go.
Number 60. Kat, how about you be
Why
like...
don't I read it off for you?
How many new ones do you have first on your list?
3.
I have 3 new ones.
I have 3 new ones.
And
Are you going to read them off to me?
I can read them off, yeah.
Alright, Kat. Kat, number 60.
Number 60 is... Raptor! And it rose. Oh, I couldn't read the handwriting. It rose from 72, so it jumped 12 spaces.
So Raptor is a fantastic 2-player game. One of the few Madigo games that I actually like. That's actually not true. I think they're 50-50 for me at this point. There's Captain Sonar, Inish, and Raptor.
So I would say 50-50 also, but I would say Kemet. And
you gonna put Cyclades up there too?
I have never played Cyclades.
Oh, you've never played Cyclades?
I've watched it play, but I've never played it. But I didn't like Ennis.
Well, it's because you're dumb, but you don't get it.
And Raptor, I couldn't wrap my brain around.
That you couldn't wrap
Right.
tear your brain around.
Right.
Raptor is a fantastic thematic 2-player game where one person plays and controls the dinosaurs, the mother and her little babies, which are these little plastic they're just fucking adorable dinosaurs, and the other person plays the scientists, which are trying to capture the raptors or put the mother to sleep. Both sides have 2 ways to win. The mother can kill all the scientists, or the little babies can escape off the board. It's a very like head-to-head game, obviously 2 players, but you have a deck of 10 cards that numbered 1 through 10, that if you play the higher number, because you'll have a hand of cards, and each player will choose one and reveal, and if you have the higher one, then you don't get the card ability, but you get actions equal to the difference. So if I play my 10 and you play your 1, I'm getting 9 actions off of that, and but you'll get your ability. So there's definitely that, because once you play it, it goes off to the side until you play a card that lets you reshuffle everything. Yeah. So I can look at what options are and think, what would you most likely play? And I like that, getting to the head of your opponent. It's absolutely phenomenal, very, very solid game. That's a really good 2-player game. That, funny enough, on the board game group, someone was asking for 2-player games. I was looking through them, and I was like, oh, no one said Raptor.
Right.
Did you like this game? I don't even remember. I know we played it like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, and I got my ass kicked every time. It's like, I couldn't get my head wrapped, like I said. It wasn't, I don't know. I needed to play, of course, I just played the Raptors.
No, you played the scientists.
I thought I played the Raptors because I was attacking you.
We might have switched. Well, you attacked with the scientists as well.
No, but you were shooting. Because I remember being the mom, because I would try to eat people. And
I think you're right.
Stuff.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't. It wasn't that it was a bad game. It's just one of those. I know that it was something I needed to play more to get used to. I didn't not like it. It just, I got my ass handed to me pretty badly.
That's
you know.
So I hate it.
Well, no.
I know.
It's just, you know.
I know. Awesome. 60 for you. You don't get a negative. You never played it.
It looks so fucking cute.
It is.
Little mama rat.
And I think they're both balanced. But if you're not doing well, and I've been in the same boat where it's gonna seem unbalanced.
Right.
And
I know it is. It's a good balance. Yeah.
All right, 60.
All right. My 60 is one I know you guys have not played, but you guys would like. It's a very, very gorgeous game.
Dude, I own it.
I know. is Rajas of the Ganges.
Dude, it's literally right.
Yeah. Yeah, look it up.
No
It's a beautiful game. It is from the same company that did Ulm.
Hook.
Hook!
Hook and Friends. It's actually Hutch. It's not Hutch.
But anyway, this was a new game to the list. It has really pretty dice. They're large, translucent, colorful dice.
I have seen that cover.
But I will tell you, it's not just pretty. It is a very good game, and I can only see it rising higher on my list. And you'd look at it and know it's a race game, actually.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
What's cool about it, it has the really cool end game winning mechanic is you have two different resources for your like there's wealth. I believe it's wealth and fame, or karma. Maybe karma is one of them. But so you do actions that gain wealth. So you move your wealth up this way around the track, and then there's your fame or karma, I can't remember which one it is, going like this. You can focus all on wealth if you want, and make it maybe go 80% of the way.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as you can get those two to overlap, you win.
Oh, okay.
All right? So you can focus all on wealth and try to do that way, and with a little bit of fame, you can go all fame, a little bit of wealth, you can make them meet in the middle. But every game seems to be really close.
Okay.
Whenever I've played it, because
is this new?
Yeah, this was new. I just got it this last year, and it's a really, I don't know. It's everybody has their own little worker board in front of them that has this little statue.
I don't know what those are
thing.
called.
I can't remember. But you place the dice on the hand. I mean, that's what you.
Oh, okay.
So you place your dice on this hand. You place your dice. And that will go through it. You have all your workers on the board, so you're doing stuff like that. But I like the scoring, the in-game mechanic where you can decide to focus more on money, actions and stuff. But it's like when they cross, it's game over and stuff. And that's where the race comes in. It's not like Camel where you're racing stuff. It's like but it's a race to get those two cross by doing actions and stuff. And so it's one of those games that's, in my opinion, very pretty, and it also has really cool game mechanisms and stuff. So
awesome.
It will definitely be. It
is interesting because whenever you said it's not just pretty, it's like I wonder if there are games out there that are really gorgeous but suck. I'm sure there are.
Some CMON games. Let's see.
Okay, Starcadia Quest, Arcadia Quest.
I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of that just goes hand in hand with a lot of Kickstarter games.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, they get there because they have miniatures, but the game makes that. You look at Lords
Dark
of Hellas.
Oh, Dark Souls.
You were talking about Lords of Hellas. You didn't like it. It was a very pretty game.
That's true.
It could be.
True. And Dark Souls. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yep.
All right. 59.
59 is Terraforming Mars.
Hey! That's new to the list, I believe.
New.
Terraforming Mars is new to the list. Finally got it played, and I just ordered all the expansions. So it will probably be up on the channel at some point. I'm gonna play with all of them.
The best one is Prelude. Like if you only had
So
to play with one, play with Prelude.
That's what I've heard. I've heard Preludes or Colonies.
Prelude is, I would agree. Those are the two. Prelude is better because it. At the beginning of the game, you choose one of those. It sets you on what path you're going on.
Okay.
So you don't have to spend all the time trying to create a path.
Yeah.
Like it tells you this,
It just
and you're like, okay,
streamlines
this is
the
it.
beginning.
Go.
Okay.
So it makes the game faster.
Oh, awesome.
It makes the game shorter. Colonies makes the game a little longer.
Okay.
So if you play with both at the same time, it equals out.
Okay. So Terraforming Mars,
Yep.
if you haven't heard by now, is a engine building game where you are terraforming Mars by card drafting. So it hits on all cylinders because one, it's scientific. I believe they actually did their research on, for the most part, on what it would take to actually terraform Mars. But you are a business and you are trying to gather all this money to be able to play project cards, which will allow you to put, domes or cities on Mars, to put green, forests to increase the oxygen, to create lakes, to have water, to do other things to increase the temperature. You're essentially trying to make it habitable for humanity. It is a very smart game. It is a very solid game.
It's the epitome of an engine building game.
Yeah,
Big
for
time.
sure. And with a little bit of cutthroat in there.
Yeah, there is. I'm gonna drop what is the asteroid?
Yeah, it's like an asteroid on you, but you don't have to play with them, I don't think.
Right.
And I don't think when we played it, I don't remember having any cutthroat aspects, but...
You don't have to play with a lot of because your deck gets so thick by adding all that other stuff.
Right,
You can take
right.
out anything you
So, this was right up my alley for a game. I have Prelude, but I haven't played it yet.
Venus Next would be the last one I would incorporate.
Really?
Because it adds a whole other resource and it kind of...
Okay.
I mean, it's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad at all.
What about the Hellas and Elysium?
That adds another board, which is
Oh,
good
okay.
because you play with the main board,
Yeah.
and then that just gives you, because you kind of figure out where the best place is to
Mhm.
start playing your stuff. That just adds another board.
Oh, okay.
So it makes it different.
Gotcha.
It's kind of like adding a new board to Ticket to Ride or something.
I see.
It just makes
Okay.
it different.
Okay. And then there was, what's the other one?
Colonies, Prelude, Venus Next,
Is there a
Hellas, and Elysium.
There's another one. It's literally in my living room right now.
I think.
Isn't there a... No, maybe
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
it is
that's
just Venus next.
Yeah,
No, you're right.
Colonies is the
Yep.
newest one.
Okay, maybe that's what it is. But yeah, so Terraforming Mars I think is awesome. If I had one negative, it is really long.
Yeah.
Like
And it's a table hog.
yeah.
All your cards.
Yeah, your tableau, but I love that, having all my
Yeah.
things, build up.
And you must have some sort of an
overlay
overlay.
over your
Do
thing.
you have an overlay
I
yet?
do.
Yeah.
I got those at Gen Con.
I did.
because
I got the
was
broken
like,
token organizer that comes with them.
Okay.
So you put it together in our wood. And all
God,
that
so
stuff.
yeah, because other than that, oh man, that would be awful.
Yeah.
So Terraforming Mars is fantastic. I can only see it going up.
And the component quality is shit of this game. So like the game has to be good for it to be. I mean, I'm spoiling. It's higher on my list
Mhm.
than this because I haven't said obviously, but it is crap. Like this game is so popular. I think it's like number 7 on
It's
the BGG list.
Yeah, everyone loves it.
I'm surprised they have not come out with like an awesome version
Like a deluxe.
because that's the one thing people complain about this game is the component quality. And like they
It's
complain
not
about the
bad.
clip art on the cards and they complain about all that stuff.
Hmm.
I don't
It's
think it's
okay.
horrible. I don't think it's horrible.
Yeah.
But I can see them coming out with a
Yeah.
badass version with it being as awesome of a game as it is.
Whenever I think of clip art, I think of the original Aeon's End, like literally
Yeah,
clip art.
yeah.
Like this one's I thought was pretty, like it was because it was realistic
Right.
artwork. I didn't mind it.
No, and I don't either. I mean, it's a great game. I just know that's when you hear people complain, that's the one complaint
Huh.
people have.
Okay, that's fair.
Yep.
59.
All right. Did you have anything bad?
Oh.
Oh, I'd say my only negative is
There is none.
yeah.
The component's crap. See, she's gonna
No,
say
to
no,
me-
she doesn't. She said they're
To me,
okay.
the theme doesn't warrant the playtime. Like, I'm just not into it.
It's the best Mars.
It's
game.
not that it's it's not that it's a bad game. Like, it's just I don't.
I don't know. Mission
care.
Planet's really good.
I have never played Mission Planet, but
They're completely different
maybe
games.
First Martian is not gonna.
Oh man, I forgot.
It's not that's your top
First
10,
Martian,
isn't
it has to be my top 10 now. It's so
For
good.
a second, that's what I thought it was, and I was like, wait
No.
a second.
First Martians is
I have a lot of shit to say.
hot garbage.
I would just
Yes.
say it's not my kind of theme. I think I only watched that Matt Damon movie once.
Yeah, I love that
It's about as
movie.
close as it was. It
Martians,
was funny.
yeah.
Anyway,
He dies at the end.
he poops himself.
He poops himself and eats it. All right,
All right,
59.
My 59 is a game that it's new to the list. When I made this list, 2 months ago,
Something like that.
it wouldn't be this high because the game's kind of dying for me. It's Warhammer Age of Sigmar Champions. That's the card game, that collectible card game that fell out. I bought all 4 of the little starter of the faction packs.
Yep.
And then I bought a booster box of cards. I have 2 play mats.
Was this the one with like the lanes?
The lanes, I
that
bought the
you
2
were,
play
that I thought
mats.
sounded really cool.
It's a great game.
Yeah.
It's just I'm not gonna get rid of it. I'm always gonna have it. It's just they've messed up the company.
Really?
They aren't. there's too many. There's a couple of overpowered things that they aren't fixing, and they're losing their player base already. And it's a new game, and they're already losing player base. So I mean, I'm not giving up on it, but they've already put out their second series of booster, and it's just it's just not good because there's stuff in that box that's overpowered that they're not fixing. There's like one main, because you pick 4 people, heroes or whatever from your faction that's you can have down here to start with. Well, one of them in the Orc faction's like super bonkers, and they haven't done anything to nerf that. And then this next set, there's another one that in another faction is like that, and it's just ridiculous because you can. What's cool about it is you can play this game on iOS or whatever. You can actually play your cards that you buy because each card has its own little scanning thing. So you get to the app, and every card you own, you scan, and then it goes onto the app.
Oh, neat.
So then you can play it on that, which is the only way I've been playing it because nobody plays it around here.
Yeah.
But every time you play, every person you play is the Orcs. Everybody has this one guy, and it's just stupid. And
the problem
they need to fix that shit because that's why things don't keep up with Magic.
Right.
Like people try to
emulate Magic will have a ban list before the set comes out.
and people try to emulate it, but then this happens, you know, and it pisses me off because I love the gameplay, the laned technology, and like I said, I'm going to keep it. I just won't use that guy.
Yeah.
But I'll never play it competitively.
Yeah.
But if you just keep that guy out, the game is great because you're playing your people down. You play actions and stuff, and on that lane, and whenever you do that, there's symbols on your main people that you do. So if you play an action and it's in the top left corner, you rotate that leader guy.
Yeah.
And after he rotates all the way around, then there's this card, the superpower ability that you get to use, and it just wrecks people.
Nice.
The point of the game is you're trying to kill the other person across from you. So you have on your play mat or whatever, you have this health counter. Then once it gets to 0, it's over.
Yeah.
It's a unique game, and it's an awesome gameplay. They just have messed up on the competitive scene. So I will definitely...
You can't have OP cards.
Right, and that's the thing. It's just those leader things, though.
I mean, because Magic goes through that, like in Modern or Standard, they have the meta, you know, which is what everyone is pretty much doing, and then, you know, over time, you know, Wizards of the Coast, I think it's Wizards of the Coast, owns Magic.
Yeah,
quote me. Okay. But they'll be like, oh, okay, now that's banned. And, or that's your ban list, and then it'll be, you know, not banned in other formats. But then then they'll release a new set, and that'll become the new meta, and that's just kind of how that goes. But if you're releasing cards that are obviously broken, leave it to any player, they'll find it.
Yep. It's one I'm going to keep, and it's one that I think you should try.
Yeah, I mean, I remember
game.
you talking about it in your 2018 list, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a wonderful game. It's just, I'll just never play competitively. And and that was one that I got along with Keyforge to try to replace Netrunner.
Because you were trying to find Netrunner.
And then it didn't really take off.
How's Keyforge working for you? Is it still...
You'll find out. No, it's wonderful. I've been to several tournaments. Yeah, I like it a lot.
58!
Number 58 is Sherlock Holmes, Consulting Detective. And it fell from number 38, so it dropped 20 spaces.
Yeah, so Sherlock Holmes is... I believe this time next year it will be... I don't think it'll be off the list, but it will definitely be higher because
of Detective and
Detective Modern Crime, Chronicles of Crime, maybe Detective City of Angels.
Yeah.
And so they're just better versions. At this point, Sherlock Holmes is outdated. But I was just talking about how I like Mythos Tales a lot because it's H.P. Lovecraft and they have a timer on it. The only reason Sherlock Holmes is higher is I've played it more. I've done a lot more scenarios, and they have, besides the Jack the Ripper mini campaign that they had, which was actually, I think I just suck at these games. It was good, but it was like they never caught Jack the Ripper. They just had vague, this is what most people agree on. It's like, well, anyway, most of their scenarios are a lot of fun, and they're all completely different. So you have, like I said, at least 30 cases to go through. I haven't even finished all of the ones in the base game. So it's just really, really good. And it makes you feel good whenever you get a higher score. I don't think I've ever beaten Sherlock, but it's a theme that I really like. I've played it more. That's why it's higher than Mythos Tales. But yeah, I mean that's all I got. 50, 58.
And the movie's hilarious.
Which one?
The new one?
Yeah.
Is it?
No way.
Yeah, John C. Reilly. I can see it being good.
If you like those two actors, how they play off of each other, you'll like the movie. If you don't, if you go into
You know why that went into theaters? Because they tried to pawn it off on Netflix, and Netflix said no.
Probably
no.
because it's...
The story of the movie sucks. Like, the movie sucks, but if you like those two together, like the Talladega Nights and Step Brothers, it's
I don't like either of those movies. I like John C. Reilly when he's by himself. Man, you're the first person I've seen by anyone who has said anything remotely good about that movie.
I love those two, how they play off each other, though. So, I mean, I didn't like the movie, like the story of the movie.
Yeah, I've heard the story was just lazy. The jokes were lazy. It was just old fucking tired jokes that, oh man, I've heard nothing. It is bombing. But then I believe I heard that they tried to have it go straight to Netflix, and Netflix said no, so then they had to make it and have it go out in theaters.
Well, it's better than straight to DVD. Because nothing hurts worse when you're like, oh, I want to straight
what's
to
this?
DVD.
You got a negative for Sherlock?
Yeah, same thing with kind of Whitechapel. It's just tired.
Yeah, just things are better.
Why did you do that?
I don't know.
Maybe really don't touch me.
Yeah, it is true. This will be lower on the list.
Yeah. Like I've got other priorities. Like if you were actually to present it like, oh, do you want to play detective versus Sherlock? I'd be like, please let's play detective. Please, for the love of fucking God, can I Google something like?
Yeah, detective is so sexy. That was my 58.
All right, my 58's one I don't believe you've played yet.
Oh.
It's an older game.
Man. Only played older games.
This one actually rose 4 spots. It's from the same company that did Seasons. It's in the same world as Seasons, and it is Lords of Zidit.
I've not played it.
It is a really cool game. It is a programming game.
Okay.
You take on the role of one of these like seasons, like the wizard type things, like in Seasons and stuff. But what you do is there's these titans and monsters and stuff that are going around the countryside, and you have four or five dials, and you're programming what you want your person to do, movement wise. You can turn it. You set them all beforehand. So like this one maybe move, this one maybe pick up, this one maybe, whatever that you do, and then everybody reveals at once. Then go in a player order, you'll move and do whatever. What you're doing is you're also collecting sets, because when you go, each city has this little tile that's going to have these little plastic figures of leather, whether it's clerics or warriors or whatever, and you are gaining those when you go there. And if you've picked recruit or whatever, you gain those, and they go behind your little shield.
Okay.
And you keep going, so you could kind of hose people if you go and steal the thing
Gotcha.
that they want to come and stuff like that. Just typical movement programming. And then you can also go to where there's beasts, and then you spend whatever it says. The beast circle will have, if it needs 2 warriors and a cleric to kill it or whatever, then you spin those, kill it.
Oh, okay.
And then you get points and
all
that stuff. You're doing it's got a lot of stuff to it. It's a simple game, but yet the programming with it, it's got a neat deal, because as you beat a titan, then it goes over. It's double-sided. There's the titans and there's the town, so you flip it over as they rotate through the deals. And then you can also lay after you beat a bad guy, it'll say, okay, you get this reward, and it may be laying influence someplace or whatever. So like you lay in these little influence things that stack out in the countryside, so you can, if whoever has the most in these areas will score points. The deal. There's also a little hut that you can kind of secretly put some into. So
Okay.
you can think of, like, was it Ronde? Is that the one where you were putting stuff in the tower, and people could count. You could remember in their head, but and so you get points at the end for that and stuff too. It's I'm not doing it justice really explaining it. It's definitely worth a play though.
Okay.
Because I know you don't like Seasons.
I didn't like Seasons, right?
But like I said, it's a world of Seasons, but it's really cool. It's my favorite programming game. Like it blows any other thing else out of the water as far as programming goes, and it's a nice. I just like the little tiny
The little like clerics and
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah.
that.
It's like because they're all their own sculpts and own colors
okay.
and stuff too, and everything.
That's cute.
So resource management and spending them to kill shit.
Yep. Sweet. 57
is Adrenaline. It fell from 17, which makes it 40
Fell from
spots.
17. Woo.
40 spaces.
So.
I don't remember.
Just throw that game away.
This is the first-person shooter in a box.
It is. So,
It.
So, Adrenaline is apparently a hack of a game. No, so it fell due to just lack of play.
Yeah.
But it, like you said, it is first-person shooter in a box and does that really well. Adrenaline is such a blast. We played this with Luke, actually not too long ago. But you are a person that you run throughout the board to get these weapons, and you are kind of resource managing your ammo to be able to. And there's just a bunch of different weapons that have dual abilities that. It's a free for all.
Oh.
You're running around and then you shoot people, and then if you kill, you're trying to
respawn
and you respawn and you go get better weapons. And what they do really cool in this is you deal damage to them, and then you place skull markers, not skull markers, blood tokens on them, and then once they die, whoever dealt the most damage will get the most points in second, and then you collect points that way. And then, what's really neat is that once that person dies, they take a marker and cover up, so now they are worth less points to kill. Which I really like, because it's not just go after one person. Eventually, if you're dying a lot, you won't be able to, no one's going to go after you anymore.
Yeah, because you're not worth it.
Yeah, but you still can go after people and catch up that way. Such a fun game. Like, this, like, the weapons are a blast, and you can just constantly just get these cool combos. And in all reality, there's not really a safe space you can go to on the board, because if I'm in the doorway and I can see into the room and still attack you.
My biggest thing, and I know there was an expansion.
Team DLC, I haven't.
Did it have a new map?
There's probably no way.
That was my biggest thing. Like, I wish it had a new map.
Yeah, the box is not. The box I don't think is big enough to have a new map in it, unless they folded it weird. But yeah, no, I completely agree. That's probably another reason why it's actually so high, is because there's one board. Well, is it double-sided? I think is it not double-sided?
I don't believe so.
It might be double-sided based off number of players.
Right? Yeah, I think it changes the number of players. Yeah, that's it.
But yeah, the map is fine, like, because it does, justice, like, it's not, but just having different maps would be so cool, and this is the perfect game to do it. Like, you just have, I mean, even 3D aspects would be awesome, but they're really just color-coded rooms that might as well just be an open terrain in all reality. But it's such a fast-paced game that I have a blast every time I play it. I do have the expansion, so that might dictate if this goes up or not. But I don't. This will probably be where it stays.
It just turns into a team game, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it has variants though.
Yeah, okay.
I just got it because it's Adrenaline, and I'm like, this needed an expansion, but it needs a map pack, and this would go higher if it had a map pack. But it's probably gonna hover around this spot for a while, if not continue to keep falling back. So that's 57.
So I had forgotten everything about that game, so I had to look it up and just look at it. And I guess one thing is, when you get weapons, that there's so many icons on the weapons that you do have to get out the manual and be like, okay, so this one is...
I forgot it was icon heavy.
And I don't necessarily remember that, but I do know that showed up as a lot of complaints for people, which I know is a big thing that I complain about.
I would say, no, I agree. I would say that the icons are pretty straightforward, like,
once you get it, but there's still that learning curve.
And I like how the little icons are Spartans from Halo, but yeah, icons should not replace text.
Correct.
Like, unless you can take a couple icons to replace a paragraph, like, you could have fit this text on the card to tell you what they both do. So
I think it's just a development decision.
Yeah.
Because they can sell it around the world.
Oh, you're
if
right.
They use icons over, because then all they have to do is print rule books.
Mm-hmm.
And
not a bunch of different cards.
I think
you got freaking Kickstarter games like Deep Madness and like I get like every expansion in there had every language in it. I'm like, well, I don't need these. Right. So I don't think it's an excuse anymore. I know why that's true. But it's like you have new companies doing it, and it's CGE.
Right.
So quit cutting corners. But other than that, yeah, Adrenaline's a blast. 57.
My 57, you guys have played.
Yay!
It went up 2 spots, probably because I've actually played it a little bit this year.
I was really 17.
Jesus
Christ.
Yeah.
And it is Gravwell.
Oh, okay.
Did you play Gravwell?
Yeah.
That's the space one.
Yeah.
It's one of my.
I won.
It is one of my go-to kind of just quick.
Mm-hmm.
It's 30 minutes maybe to play it. It's kind of like a reverse race game. You're trying to get out from the gravity pull and get out, and you have a set number of rounds to do it. If you don't, nobody gets out in that set of rounds, then it's whoever's the closest to exiting the Gravwell.
Who's the company?
Cryptozoic.
Okay.
And the version I have, I like better. I like the art on mine better than the new version.
I mean, art.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like the box art and everything.
Oh, yeah.
More, but anyway, it is. It's a simplistic game because you're drafting cards, and it's for new players. It takes a little bit to get used to how the cards play off of the gravity, because there's repel ones, and it repels from the closest thing to you, so you have to look to see what's the closest thing to you.
Yeah,
so you don't necessarily want to be in the lead, because there's more cards that move towards the closest thing to you in that deck. So if you're 10 spots ahead, you're gonna fall back to the closest thing because that's the closest thing to you. They throw a couple of derelict ships in there just to fuck with you. And it's just.
I think the weirdest thing for me was I was thinking whenever we were playing, because I think I still ended up winning, but barely. But it was like you assume it's like closest thing, and you would think like, oh, well, this is close. But in terms, that's like they could be like 30 spaces, and it's like that's technically the closest. So you're like, whoop, and you're like, oh.
The physics really screw with.
Yeah.
But what's cool is everybody has a one-time use emergency stop card.
Oh, that's right.
So if for some reason, because when you play, everybody plays a card face down, they flip it over, and then they resolve alphabetically.
Yeah.
So A to Z, and then if for some reason somebody may move ahead of you, and you played a repulsor thing that's going to make you go backwards, you may want to play your emergency stop.
Right, or you can play it to stop to screw someone else over.
Yeah. So it's just one of those games that you may jump out in the lead early, but you won't stay in the lead. It's almost better to kind of hover in the middle until the late game, and then just try to pull.
Yeah.
It's a really cool filler game and gateway.
I can't remember. I remember asking you if you liked this, like, not too long ago.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was interesting.
Right.
Because just the concept that I had never heard of, and also was a little bit confusing at first, but it's one of those things where you can't really be mad, like...
You just gotta play it for fun.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's a serious game.
I mean, I was seething the entire time.
No, it's me with us.
I mean, it wasn't no Roll for the Ages Bronze Age. I mean,
God.
I didn't have paper on my little tore up pieces of paper on my deal.
I fucking hate that game. I'm glad all my people died from the plague. 56!
56!
56! Is
Stronghold.
Nipple Twister. Stronghold.
It fell from 34, so 34 down to 56, or up to 56.
So Stronghold is another fantastic 2-player game that I actually played with a coworker of mine before he moved away, and it was such a pain in the ass to teach him because that rule book it's Portal games. So
you would think with being a second edition,
you would think. Well, the problem is one. It has to be a language barrier thing. And a lot of games still do this, but they use turn and round interchangeably, which confuses a lot of things, because it's like, oh, I've been doing this wrong this whole time because I was assuming this happened every single turn, not every round.
Right.
So, but just lack of play because it's really a difficult game to get to the table. You would not like this at all.
I never played it. Yeah.
Yeah, because
I've played it once.
Yeah.
The first edition.
I believe I would not like it at all from the stories I heard.
I mean, it's a very, very solid tower defense and siege game. Like it's basically Battle of Helm's Deep, the board game. Like you have, if you're defending the tower, you have a certain number, like 30, maybe 30 warriors to help defend, but you have walls. And how much the enemy, because the enemy has an unlimited a horde. Like everyone that dies, they just go into a bag and they just keep coming. And the person defending has a certain number of rounds to survive, whereas the attacker just has to breach the wall and get inside. But with the more, and I love this mechanic in other games, the more that the attacker does, the more the defender gets to do. So there's a balance of that. It's stressful on both sides. Definitely more stressful to be the defender because when your people die, they die. So you eventually start losing more.
Oh my god.
And more people.
Yeah. Did you see the expansions for it too?
The undead one. I saw that like 3 years ago.
Yeah, it said quarter 1, 2019.
Did they finally? Is it finally coming out? I'll have to check that out. Is it standalone?
No, it just goes.
It's just an okay.
It'll jump into the second edition game.
But I very much like this game a lot, and once we hashed out, because we had to restart the game when I was teaching him. Luckily, he was a good sport about it, and he wasn't like, ugh. So he was getting into the game, and he liked it a lot. But once we finally hashed out the turn and round thing and started up again, it was a blast. And it's just a difficult barrier of entry because I can't play with you because I don't think you would like it.
No.
And whenever I have my other friends over who would like this game, we're playing something else.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's pretty long, but I still very much like it. It's, I mean, a 56 out of 100 and whatever 50 games that potentially could have made the list. So that's pretty good. So Stronghold is my 56. There's no way she has a negative. She hasn't played it.
I just wouldn't like it apparently.
All right.
I definitely don't.
No, I believe it.
My 56 is my biggest regret game of selling.
Oh.
Hentai Heaven. I couldn't think of another joke.
It fell 20.
Defenders of the Realm.
It fell 21 spots because I don't have it and I haven't played it. But I must get it back.
Better.
Huh?
And Pandemic's better.
No.
I mean, oh no, Pandemic is by far better because it's streamlined.
Well, I thought this was.
It is not.
I mean, well, here's the deal.
Let him enjoy his games.
Well, no, actually, here's the cool thing, is here in the next 2 months or so, sometime the first half of this year, they're doing a second edition of it finally on Kickstarter. And I think, I don't know this for a fact, I haven't really done much research on it, but I think they're going to take what they did with Defenders of the Last Stand with the story aspect, and they're going to integrate that into the Defenders of the Realm.
Oh.
Because the only thing that the Defenders of the Last Stand did that I liked was it was more thematic, more story to it.
Okay.
And I think, I mean, they'd be stupid not to infuse that into Defenders of the Realm now, which would make it like, because I love Defenders of the Realm, I just, for some reason, I think I was just, at one point I think it was out of print or something, and I sold it for a nice amount of money, whatever. And then I kicked myself for selling it because I had everything for it at the time.
Right.
But it will be coming. Second edition they're supposed to be making changes to it, and I'm gonna. It was
just old.
I'm gonna be It's gonna have the same art though, is what I've been hearing. The same D&D art style. Because that's the same guy that did all the D&D art. I think that's what.
Great. It's 60 years out of date. Makes something.
Well, I like that though. Like that's the kind of art I want. That's my fantasy art.
Gotcha.
So I'm like, when this hits Kickstarter, I will have it. And all of it.
All of it.
Yeah, I'm saving up for it because I'm sure it's gonna be expensive. But anyway, if you don't know, it's like it's a fantasy. I guess you're gonna say fantasy pandemic, which that kind of makes me gag a little.
I mean, it is.
It uses the only thing pandemic about is the burst mechanic and the putting out
and the 4 actions, and your
deal.
actions are pretty much the exact same as pandemic expansion.
It's just
I'm trying to find you a date.
It's just better.
You're on Tinder form.
May
May
of
doing
2019.
Perfect. So anyway, it is. There's so many characters that you can choose when you had all the deals. Then everybody has their own powers. I like how you, by defeating stuff or by getting cards, you can use those cards to roll that many more dice to try to get the number to defeat the guys, because you have 4 different generals coming at you.
Or if you have the dragon expansion, 4 dragons that just shit in your lips. In your lips, so you get collagen injections from dragon shit.
And as you beat the generals, whoever defeats the general gains more powers. Is something that.
Oh, you got also quests.
You got the quests, and you got. There's just my hope for this is that they keep the same art style. I hope they do the.
Speaking of art style, someone commented, "Please tell me they are hiring a graphic designer for this edition instead of a blind monkey."
Oh God, I love the art.
Which one?
It's fine for 1930.
But that's the appeal. That's the thing. Like,
I don't even know when Defenders of Rome came out. I think it was early 2000s.
Yeah, I'd say like 2000.
Yeah. But,
8.
no, don't get me wrong, Defenders of Rome was awesome. I'm going to back it as well. Because I did like it. I liked how they had a bunch of different fantasy heroes that had their abilities.
And they weren't unique. Like, there was the Eagle Rider. And they had a bunch of different...
A druid and stuff like that. Not just like a dwarf. I mean, they had dwarves and elves and stuff like that. Right. But you're right. And they had those. So I do like it. And I'm a fan of Pandemic. So it hits on all cylinders for me. But it is clunky. Like, the more expansions you added, it was kind of like... Especially the rulebook wasn't that well put together.
Yeah,
so it was kind of trying to figure out what everything did when you just got it.
Right.
But no, I mean, I'm right there with you. I think it's a fantastic game. I don't think it made my list. I also sold my copy. I should have just sold it to you.
Well, you had offered, but I didn't want to pay that on your...
I don't even remember what I was selling it for. But you're going to pay...
$1 million?
No, I'm pretty sure... I don't even know how much I sold it for.
Yeah. I at that time, I think I had heard that there was the second edition, because I wanted to get the second edition if it has the story aspect.
Black page. It is not on my... Oh, I'm not even looking. I'm looking at the wrong spot.
Defenders of the Last Stand I had at one point, and it was the post-apocalyptic one. It wasn't very cool, other than the story part. Like
and I'm not even a fan of post-apocalyptic.
So I'm like, if they bring that into this, that'd be awesome. And just keep all the same art.
Awesome.
That's my request.
Change the art, update it. I mean, you can keep the same art though, but clean it up. It doesn't have to look like it was drawn in crayon.
The one thing I didn't like about that was the black bordered cards.
Because they always look busted.
Because they would chip a little bit, the black borders. So
yeah.
Anyway, Defenders of the Realm.
I play Magic. 56. I know the black borders.
It fell 21 spots, but it will climb back up after.
I doubt it.
I'll let you guess what 55 is.
I mean, I can just look.
Number 55 is Dungeon Quest.
Dungeon Queef. That's my favorite one.
Dungeon Quest. It fell from number 50, so it only dropped 5 spaces.
So Dungeon Quest. What else is there to say?
Talk about old games.
You go in there. And
this is the revised edition. Dungeon Quest is a super fun game where your chances of survival are like 15%. You are a hero trying to get the most gold, and it's a push your luck game. That's literally it. You're trying to get to the center of the dungeon where the dragon is, where they're just going to get thousands of cards that are worth thousands of gold, and get out. But it's tile laying, so as you go, you just have tiles that reveal, and then you have to roll dice, and you will most likely die. because you have to not just get to the center, you have to get out of the dungeon. So you could easily walk in, find something that's worth 300 gold, and be like, that's good enough, you're 2 tiles in, and leave. But once you leave, you're done. So you can hope that people will try to beat your 300 and get out alive. Or as they're trying to beat it, they die. But if someone finds one that's worth 350 and gets out, you lost. So now they're the one to beat. So everyone tries to get to the middle of the dungeon, and it's just so much fun. It's so funny. Like, I love when people draw the pitfall, and then it's like, well, sorry, dude, you died. And they're like, that's it? I'm like, yeah, that's it.
That was the first card I drew.
Yeah, you died. And I wish they had made expansions for this game. Just to have more tiles, more decks, just more things in the cards.
Maybe a different dragon.
Yeah, like, they could have just added more to it. But as Fantasy Flight likes to do, they only do Star Wars and Game of Thrones and Cthulhu games. So, pretty much. They do what they do well, but it's like, their off-brand games were good.
Dragon Quest is so fucking fun. So fun.
Ha! No negative.
No,
all right,
negative.
50,
Negative
55.
is if you were to play this game with a friend and you didn't explain it well enough, and they did draw the pitfall card as like their very first card.
What's a tile?
Or their tile. It's just like, like.
They can survive. You have to roll an agility, and you can roll 2 6-sided dice,
or they might
and you have
be
to roll
mad,
less than your ability.
They might be mad that they're trying to light their torch 5 times in a row,
That's
and they can't
so
do
funny.
it.
And because you make these stories, we had one where he kept trying to light his torch because you can go into the catacombs, which could be shortcuts, and he just couldn't fail, or he couldn't succeed. And all I imagined was, since he's in the catacombs, he's trying to light it, and he's under like a water droplet. And he just kept doing that, and then he finally lit it, and then he got attacked and died.
Yeah, it was
So
rough.
It's like that where you see, like in a movie where it's pitch black behind,
Yeah.
and you light this torch, and all of a sudden the
It's
light
like
goes
right
like a
behind
monster.
him. Yeah, that's actually a
Oh,
scene in like one of the Grudge movies, and it still freaks me out because he like goes to pull the string, and it like flashes, and it's like right behind him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty trippy.
All right, so 55.
Yep.
It rose 3 spots. It's a USAopoly game.
Wow, it's either Thanos Rising or
Nope.
Harry Potter?
It's Harry Potter. Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle. I don't really care for Harry Potter, but I love deck builders. And I like deck builders that, I guess this is kind of a legacy. You don't destroy anything.
And you don't permanently change anything.
Your deck changes as you play the books, but then once you're done, you can just sort everything back out into the boxes and stuff. But you're pretty much playing the books of Harry Potter all the way up through, and you have a big stack of like spells
books
and,
with
and allies.
7th movie Malfoy in book 1.
But you just, it runs the simple deck builder rules. You buy stuff, it goes in your discard pile. The cards play off of each other really well. You can actually do stuff that will help other people playing, and kind of cooperate a little bit that way. There's actually dice, spoiler alert, there's dice once you get to book 4 that actually have the resources on them as well, and when you have the chance, some cards you get will say, roll this dice, and then everybody gains whatever rolls on it and everything, and you're just going through and just and they've done a good job with some of the books. I haven't read the books, so I haven't seen all the movies, but the person I went through and played all this with is a complete Harry Potter super nerd, and she, there was one when you get to the, what do they call the Horcrux deals towards the end, you actually have to get through and take out the Horcruxes before you take on deal and everything, so it's just really neat, and she had fun with me pronouncing the spells, because I would just read them like that, and she just started making fun of me. And
is this Wingardium Leviosa?
I would say something.
I'll kick your ass.
Yeah,
she's like, it's Leviosa!
Yeah,
and you're like, shut up, bitch.
So anyway,
you're a 40-year-old who's still into Harry Potter. Grow up.
This is definitely not my highest deck builder, but it's a very thematic deck builder.
More or less.
And then it rose, I think, because we went through and beat the whole game. Then they came out with the monsters.
Oh yeah, they did have an
and that makes the game almost unbeatable, which is good because the story was pretty not simple, but it, you know, it's one of those. The more people you have play, the harder it gets.
Oh, okay.
We played with 2 players, and we kind of went through it. But if you play with 4, after every person's turn, the bad stuff happens.
Oh yeah.
So it kind of compiles.
Yeah.
Quite a bit. The monsters expansion makes it really, really hard. I don't think we beat anything of the monster expansion yet, but yep, it's a good one.
Great.
Yep.
Harry Potter. Harry Potter.
54 is Temporal Odyssey, and it's new.
Temporal Odyssey is new to the list. It is a fantastic.
Right shoulder.
Huh?
Right shoulder.
It is a fantastic game by Level 99 Games that I just backed on Kickstarter on a whim. It is basically on theme because you are dueling time travelers. So you, what's really neat about this game, you have 3 separate decks. I think each deck has like maybe 2 or 3 separate factions. So you have past, present, and future. And each faction does something different. Like, there's angels, which I think are in the present, and they heal. You heal your people. And then you have mechs from the future that you can, and they're big creatures, but they have a negative, downside to them when you bring them in. But, so you have that, and each time you get to pick which timeline you draw cards from, and which you're trying to make these combos off of. But whenever you're playing these, they come in sets, so you have your Stronghold, and then you have your actual time traveler, and you can place people in front of you, and they can only be in groups of 2. So the only people that can attack are the ones in front, and then you can have special abilities in the back. But what's neat about this game is, like I said, they're time travelers, so you're battling each other's monsters, casting spells, and each of these spells have glyphs on them that you can get to soup them up and just make them really awesome and finding combos. But if your time traveler dies, you get an unstable card, which gives you a glyph and an ability. So you can have these unstable cards behind you, because then you come back your next turn, and you can have these glyphs, which will help your spells, but you can flip them to use their one-time ability, which are really good. And so you do this until someone gets their 4th unstable card. Thematically, that means because you died, but then you're like, oh, a time traveler, I come back. And thematically, the Lord of Time wipes you from existence is how you lose. So it's not just like Magic where, oh, I knocked you down from 20, or in a Commander game from 40. It's you have multiple chances to, okay, well, I have an unstable, you have an unstable, and we just go back and forth. I really like it, and I talked to the designer at Gen Con last year, and I was like, hey, your game's awesome, I really like it. Do you have plans to support this? Because this will just go higher if he has expansions. And he said yes.
Good.
So that's good to hear, because the person I play this with, he's the guy I play Magic with a lot too, and he really likes it. Good. So, fantastic game. You can play with 4.
Yeah, I know.
It's one of those things that it's a 2-player game. So, what negative you got?
Have I played it?
Yeah, we played it as a 4-player game, and
we were on a team.
We wrecked! Yeah!
Well, in that case, no. I don't
awesome.
Know.
Sweet.
Right,
54.
So
54.
My number 54, gotta hold my thing here, is a game I don't own. I probably will never own because it'll cost me too much money to get everything for it, but Chad has it, and I played his copy.
Gotcha.
It is Mythic Battle's Pantheon.
Have you played that?
Yes, it's a wonderful game.
Man, I want it.
Yeah, I do too. It's just so expensive
to
get everything right now.
To get everything.
But he doesn't have everything for it because he sold a bunch of the expansions.
Really?
Just to recoup. Like he went all in, got all the stuff, and then he sold like 4 of the expansions, and it pretty much got the game for free.
Damn.
Because at that time the hype was.
Right.
So anyway, the theme of this is wonderful because back a long time ago, I'm an ancient history guy, so like I learned a lot about ancient Greece, Rome, I'm into mythology, all that junk. And in this game, it's like a skirmish.
It's a miniatures game, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a miniatures, but the miniatures are just bonkers. Kickstarters.
Well, I know, but
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's like Warhammer.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Oh, well, yeah.
It's a miniatures tactile game, which is
Yeah,
another
yeah.
reason why
Yeah,
I'm actually
it's
glad
just-
I'm not trying to go out of my way to get it, because I don't play those.
But there's scenarios, too. Like, there's cooperative scenarios, there's solo scenarios, and there's skirmish stuff. But pretty much, you are, you choose, like, a god, what heroes you want, what creatures you want. You know, you kind of draft them. When I played, I had Achilles and Zeus, and then I had the Nemean lion and some other creature. And then you have these cards. You get all those cards and put them into a deck and shuffle it up, and that's your deck. And how you activate things is by the cards in your hand.
Yep.
So if you have 3 lion cards in your hand, you play them, and that's how many times you can activate the lion if you need to and stuff.
So it's like Memoir 44.
No, because it's not the coloring.
But you're still
came in a color system. It's like because remember in Memoir 44, you'd say okay, all the things on the right flank.
Right. I mean, it's not like that, but you're still you can't just activate Zeus. You have to.
Oh yeah. You have to have.
Okay.
There's ways to get cards in your deck.
Okay.
I'm like
I've only
played like 3 times
and
stuff, so I haven't really gotten into a lot. But there's all these I call them henchmen. They're not henchmen, but like you can pick the Spartans, and you have like little units of Spartans you can have in your army instead of a big creature.
Gotcha.
So you can kind of pick and choose what army you want to use. But you activate them with cards. When you battle, it uses a really cool dice deal that's super confusing until you get the hang of it.
Yeah.
You're both rolling stuff, and then a lot of stuff cancels other things and everything. I can't do it justice explaining it here. Just watch a video because it's the people that we play with. I think me and Chad are the only ones that understand consistently what the dice do without having to re-explain everything.
Gotcha.
But anyway, the models are awesome. Super produced stuff. This is the same mythic. Or what's the name of the company that did it? I can't think. But anyway, they've done a lot of Kickstarter stuff with a lot of really.
Is it Mythic Games?
It might be. You can look it up.
Yeah.
But they've done other Kickstarters as well that have kind of fallen into that realm, and I think they're the ones that did Joan of Arc, as well. That's getting ready to.
Oh.
That's getting ready to
that did
deliver
Solomon
here
Kane.
in a little bit. But they've got everything you can do. I mean, the miniatures, I'm talking like some of those monster miniatures are massive.
Yeah.
But they all have your special abilities. There's stuff like there's terrain.
Monolith and Mythic
Monolith,
Games.
yeah, that's the one I was trying to think of. But there's 3D terrain you put out on the board, like trees and all that stuff. And there's this one guy that can pick up the stuff and chuck it, you know, and everything. It's just there's just all kinds of stuff, and it's really tightly wound in Greek mythology, and it's just a wonderful game. Like I said, though, I'll never buy it because I only play it with Chad and them guys, and I don't need to buy it because he has it.
Yeah,
but it's great.
It has so much to it.
Yeah.
Like just this one with the Pandora's Box expansion, the core game Atlas, Heroes of the Trojan Wars, Oedipus versus the Sphinx, and Thermopylae Battlefield is $300.
Yeah, it's nuts.
And then that's not even all of it.
Yeah. When it was getting ready to deliver, the designer put a picture of what the delivery would look like if you went all in on everything, and the stack of boxes was like way above him.
Yeah.
Like of all the it was just nuts.
I mean, if I were to get into miniature gaming, then that'd probably be the one I would focus on.
Yeah.
Just because
it's a loose. It's one of those things. It's. I don't consider it like Warhammer though, and stuff like that. I mean, it is. It's miniatures, but it's more of a skirmish game. Like, I don't know. There's a fine line. It is, but it isn't. You know what I'm saying? It's. I don't know. But it's good. It's a really fun one.
53.
And it was new to the list. Sorry.
I had assumed because I think it just came out.
Sagrada.
Sagrada.
Oh wow! It rose from 100 because you built an incomplete window.
Sagrada is amazing.
So this one jumped up 47 spaces. Sagrada is pretty dope.
Probably hadn't played it a whole lot back when we did.
Yeah, I think it just came out. So Sagrada is a dice drafting game about making stained glass windows. So that already in and of itself was a unique theme till Azul decided to rip off that theme and make their own hackneyed game. I haven't played the stained glass of Citra or whatever.
Like
but I mean that theme is awesome, and this game is just very. It's very simple. Because it's simple to teach, but till you get some wonky patterns. So you have your own stained glass portion, and you have a pattern that you put in, and then you draft dice, and you have to place dice next to one another, but you cannot place colors next to colors, and you cannot place or same color.
You can't put
you can't put the dice next to each other at all. You can't put the same colors next to each other, and you cannot put the same numbers next to each other, and your pattern has specific rules. So the sum will show numbers that number has to go there, or colors, and that die color has to go there. So you have to be very meticulous and draft smartly about. So you can build your stained glass, and then there's public objectives that everyone's going for, and then you have a personal objective. So you're trying to follow those but still build your window the best it could possibly be. And then you also get these like helpful tokens, which depending on the difficulty of your window, you can use to get special abilities that could potentially help you. It's a very smart game. This company does really good work. They released a 5 to 6 player expansion.
It's a Floodgate.
Floodgate Games, yeah. The designers are awesome people. I've gamed with them and met them both times I've been to Gen Con. They're just awesome people. And yeah, they released a 5 to 6 player expansion, but luckily it wasn't just that. They added just more cards to add to it, and they're about to make an app.
Yeah, I saw that. Announced this week.
Yep. So, which is awesome because I think this is probably their best-selling game.
I would think so, because it's like Vault Wars never really got.
Yeah, they have Vault Wars. They have a lot of cool themes.
Yeah.
News at 11 is awesome, and that's also by them. But yeah, Sagrada is a fantastic game. That it's just good. So that's 53.
Yeah, I think Devin and I still want to know why you won with an incomplete window.
So I didn't finish my window. But I got enough points, and you lose a point for each open section you have, and it tied. And the tiebreaker is whoever has the most of their color, and I had the most, so I won with a broken window.
Yep.
And it's art! It's called hentai.
You wanted to
And
let
it's
it
art.
natural light needed to let it.
Yeah, see, he gets it.
The pigeons needed to fly in
I've
so
done
they
the same
could get
thing.
out.
Oh, really?
I didn't end in a tie, but I won with
broken windows?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
We were a little chafed.
we're letting God's light shine through.
God's dead.
No, he's not. 53.
Alright, my 53 dropped 27 spots.
Wow.
And it's not because I don't like the game, it's just because...
Well, it wouldn't be on the list if you didn't like the game.
But
you should probably take it off, though.
It's Love Letter.
Oh, it's
And Love Letter is probably one of my most played games.
Mm-hmm.
It's just... We bring it on when we go on vacations and
Mm-hmm.
everything. We just play it so much that we just have other filler games that we use now.
Yeah.
To kind of liven stuff up a little
You think
bit.
this will fall off eventually?
I don't think it'll ever. I think it's probably going to hover because we'll always play it. I'll always.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm on my. I don't know what copy I'm on now. We've played it so many times. I wore out cards and bought new copies.
Yeah.
It's so cheap. I thought about getting the premium version of it
Mm-hmm.
with the tarot cards
Yeah.
and stuff. But I like just having the box, just tossing it in the suitcase and going, you know. And not I don't like the themed love letters. I've had the Hobbit one and the Batman one before, but I just like the plain Jane regular one.
Lovecraft Letter's great.
Yeah, and that wasn't bad.
I think out of all the variants, that one was
Right.
probably the best one.
But anyway, I mean, if you've been living under a rock, you're with Love Letter. You're just trying to have the last one on the card. Really,
Yep.
I mean, you draw a card, play a card, and then that'll either make somebody discard a card or not. And if you're the last person standing with a card, you gain a heart, and then depending on player count, once you get to a certain number of hearts, you win.
Yep.
I mean, that's really it. It doesn't matter what theme you play. That's the deal. I know there's mechanics with Insanity and stuff. When you
and Lovecraft Letter, you have
But other than that, it's really it's a simplistic game that's it'll always be on my list. I think just because but it's I don't know where it'll settle.
Let's see. Yeah, because I think it also works really well at like almost any player count. Love Letter and Lovecraft Letter was 120.
Love Letter can only be played with 4. The regular box set.
You can play with 2.
Well, I thought you meant any, because the premium you can play up to 8.
Oh, okay. I meant like
I thought you were
it scales well.
Yeah. Gotcha.
It was 120. I grouped them both together.
Yeah. Perfect.
So, all right, 52. Bah!
Boink! Is Above and Below.
There it is.
It fell, though, from number 18, so it fell 34 spaces, but so
What you gonna do?
I just now realized she has mushrooms on her shirt.
Yes!
It's from
the Modest Mouse
Modest Mouse
concert.
Okay.
You know they're all doing shrooms there.
Yeah. Hey. So Above and Below, I can see this potentially being replaced by Near and Far, basically just because the expansion might be that good. I don't know, but as of right now, it's still higher. I still like you said, Above and Below's mechanics. If I like that tableau village building because you feel like it's yours. You know, these are my buildings that I've had, and I like that idea of adventuring underground and having those adventures. And then once you do that, then you can start building underground and getting these combinations of powers and hiring new people. This was one of the first games I played that had, besides Tales of Arabian Nights, that had that story element. And you have some choice, but the biggest complaint that a lot of people have is they're just kind of like, really like hard ending.
Yeah, you do it and then, okay.
Yeah, but I guess I just did that.
What happened after
what
happens after I talk to this old person? You know?
Right. So it does leave room for imagination. But, I mean, the stories they're well written, and you don't really quite know how they're going to go, which I like, because you could just be like, oh, obviously helping this person will get me this, but you don't know that. And you can assign these workers to go out and explore, and then you can try and succeed, just like you do in Near and Far. But I do think this was kind of his precursor to try and make Near and Far something bigger. I do like the world of Near and Far, because it's actually there. Above and Below is just your village.
I will say, this goes, one other game we talked about earlier today. It's like, I don't think you needed to go anymore. Like, I think Above and Below is like, you don't need to try to outdo yourself.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that was about, I think that's one of the things with Near and Far. I think it went too far past, and which is good for some people.
Right.
But Above and Below is like the perfect note.
And we played Above and Below not too long ago, too, and I mean, it still holds up, and I remember first time playing it, my copy's actually signed by Ryan Lockett, and no, I'm better than most. Ryan's so cool. No.
If he watches this video, and he's like, man, I love my fans. I should watch their videos. And then he sees it, and he's like,
ooh. I didn't even have him sign it. I got Above and Below in the trade, and now I have the expansions for it, the desert one.
I haven't used that yet.
I haven't used any of them either.
I was gonna wonder. I wonder if the story changes.
I don't know.
I need to look at that.
I don't know. We really should.
Because it came with the Near and Far Kickstarter. I'm wondering if the stories are a little more in the desert one. Because
it has the desert and the labyrinth. Is there a labyrinth one? Or swamp? I can't remember. But obviously, because I haven't played them. But yeah, like it's a very clean, solid game that I enjoy quite a bit. You got any negatives? We did, like I said, we did play this not too long ago, and yeah, it still holds up because I played Near and Far more at the time, and I was like, I wonder if Above and Below is still good, and it is.
I honestly wasn't even thinking about trying to come up with a negative.
Yeah,
for that
you're
one.
forcing them at this point because the games are so good.
This board's too blue.
Board's too blue. All right, 52.
My 52 is one of my biggest risers. It was 103.
Damn!
Last year, so it went 53, 51. 51 spaces up the list. And it is Run, Fight, or Die.
Really?
Really? So, people love King of Tokyo. This uses the exact same mechanics as King of Tokyo as far as the Yahtzee style with the big chunky dice. But what's different is it's zombie themed, which I love zombies. You choose a character. That character has its own special ability, and you set it down at the bottom of your deal. And then there's a board you set on top of it, which has 3 different zones, and that's where the zombies move towards you. Each person has its own combination of dice that if you happen to collect and get those dice in your roll, then there's like this super ability that goes off. But it has tons and tons, because I got the all-in Kickstarter deal. I have a huge Plano just full of zombie miniatures. And you start off with putting some in the outer zone 3. And when you roll your dice at the beginning, there's an event die that goes off. And it may say, you know, there's no new zombie spawn, or you automatically take a wound, or something happens with the event. So you do that first, then you look at your 5 dice, I believe. Any zombie claw, zombie hands, I guess.
Yep.
You can't re-roll those, so those have to stay over at the side. But you can re-roll the other ones as much as you need to. Like you get baseball bat, that'll kill 1 zombie in zone 1. A gun can kill from anything. If there's like I think it's a running thing, a running person.
Yep.
That's like a flee. So you're fleeing, so you're running away. So then something that moved back a zone. So it's like your spatial awareness still. But then after you've done all that, and then there's like books and stuff, because if you roll like a combination like 2 or 3 books, then you can either recruit a person or draw from these decks. There's a whole bunch of different stuff you can do with these decks of cards. But then after you've done all your stuff with your dice, everything moves up a level, and then however many zombie icons you roll, that'll be how many zombies get added on, plus the night phase that get all sad. So you could just get totally creamed with zombies on your little board.
That's awesome.
And everybody else is playing as well and doing the same thing.
I can't remember, was this competitive?
It is competitive,
okay.
Yes. Because what you're doing is you're trying to, as you save people and they come with you, they have a point total on them. So it's whoever has the most points at the end wins. But so a person that's like a 1 or a 2 point will actually do something that helps you. But then there's a 5 or 6 pointer, which is like the screaming chick, the screaming cheerleader. So it automatically brings more zombies to you, but she's worth more points at the end of the game.
It's not worth it.
There's an infected guy. There's one that's called the infected guy, and he's worth a ton of points. But
he has
at any time he could turn to a zombie and attack you. So you can pass. I think you can pass him around to other people if stuff happens or whatever. So there's a lot of cool stuff, but this game is just awesome solo, and it's a really, really difficult game if you throw in the horde expansions and all that jazz. There's the supreme zombie, the zombie. Can't remember what it's called. It used to have there's this huge mini, the zombie overlord or whatever that would pop up if a certain event card would pop up, and then you would have to attack him. You could use guns to attack him too, and you get victory points every time you damage him. And there's just a lot of cool stuff. And
I played base game with John at the time.
Yeah, it's good, and you throw in a couple of because there's also a expansion that lets you choose. You can take a card and it's split in half, and then you can either take the extra health or you can take the extra ability, depending on what you want to use. And it's just a really cool game.
Yeah, I didn't mind it.
I actually like it better than King of Tokyo because it's got a little more depth to it. Yeah. Plus it has all the minis.
Right.
Because there's all different kinds of minis. There's the crawlers. They don't have any legs. there's just a crawling mini that you put out when you use some of the expansions.
Yeah, the minis are like them in wheelchairs.
No,
so.
wheelchairs.
All right,
But
and
yep.
last one for this segment is 51.
And it's Forbidden Sky. It's a new one. Seth did know how I feel about this game. Ha! Hey-ya!
So Forbidden Sky is the best one of the Forbidden series. It is the one that is the most strategic, that you actually feel like you're doing something. That's not. I very much like Forbidden Sky. I like the layout of the board. I love the management of trying to not be struck by lightning or get knocked off by wind, and how you have to connect these wires to these lightning rods. Depending on your difficulty, you have to have a certain number of small connectors and medium connectors, and then you find the launch pad, and you have to strategically place these and work together without dying. So it's just like, I mean, Forbidden Desert's not bad. I don't think it is. I don't believe Forbidden Desert is any higher. Forbidden Desert was 85 last year, and it is. Let's see. It was 134 this year, so Forbidden Desert completely fell off.
I really like Forbidden Desert.
Yeah, so Forbidden Desert fell off the list for me because just Forbidden Sky just offers more. I feel like it is still random with the deck, but I feel like you're in more control over what's going on instead of just constantly flipping tiles over. And it doesn't hurt the fact that once you succeed, the little ship lights up and actually makes noise. I think that's nifty. So it just had more strategy.
The graphic design doesn't do it for me on the game.
It's pretty bland.
Yeah, I mean, I like Forbidden Desert.
Right, Forbidden Desert does the cool thing because it does feel like you're in the desert.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Forbidden Sky is fine. I haven't played it.
Okay.
I've just seen picture of it, and that's why I haven't picked
it.
Yeah, it just kind of looks.
It's very purple,
yeah.
or not even purple, like pink and gray. Mm-hmm. It works because you have the 3D elements of the wires and the lightning rods and then your ship. So, yeah, Forbidden Sky is awesome.
Disagree. Too puzzly. It's one of those games where I just don't enjoy the puzzle mechanic. Half the time I was just sitting there like, oh, I'll put it there, and no, I can't. I like the other one.
Welcome to the wonderful world of magic. You like Forbidden Desert?
I like to dig myself out of the hole, yeah. If you have all the right people in Forbidden Desert.
That is true. You do have to have, like, the right people.
Oh, we will beat Forbidden Desert when we played it.
I know. I know, and because we picked the people instead of randomly assigning them, like you're technically supposed to do. So that's my 51.
Yeah.
All right, my 51. I know you don't like, but it has fallen 24 spots.
As well, it should.
24 spots.
Good.
It's just because I haven't played it.
So it falls another 24 next year.
What is it?
Seasons.
Oh.
Hey, I was right.
And it's fallen just because I haven't played it. This is one of my wife's favorite games, so whenever, I'm sure it'll hit the table again. It is interesting in that it's got the huge dice. You're going to be rolling the dice. You're going to be taking a dice, and that will tell you what you can do, right?
Yep.
The last dice remaining will make you move around the time track. You play 3 years. Before that, though, you're drafting cards, spells, familiars, stuff like that. You draft them, and then you have to set them down before the game starts, because some of them aren't going to be good until the end of the game, so you're going to put those for year 3, and then you have a year 2 pile, and then you start the game with year 1, stuff you're going to be able to complete. And you're pretty much just going to, a lot of the cards, it almost kind of has a magic feel in a way. A lot of the card abilities and odds and ends. There's screw you cards, big time. And you're just gathering resources, spending resources to put out more familiars, more spells. You're doing resource management because you need to. You also have to raise your cube levels to say how many spells you can have out, as well as how many resources you can hold, stuff like that. Some of the expansions have added special abilities to your wizards.
Didn't even know there were special.
There's
two or three expansions.
There's 2 or 3 expansions I have on. I just can't remember. That has comes from different dice and stuff. But you can also, one of the abilities is transmuting, which is selling resources for victory points. And depending on what time of the year it is, winter, spring, summer, fall, things are worth more than others, so you can kind of use that. One of the strategies I like to use is just to pile up with water on that last year, and then when it gets to the summertime, do a transmute. And I always like to try to get this one card that doubles your transmute and just get a bunch of victory points. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's like I said, it's one of my wife. Like if my wife was to make a list, this would be in the top 5 for sure. And
yeah,
and
I haven't. It's also been a long time since I played it, and at that time I hated Magic and I hated cards, and I've only played it 2.
Yeah,
so,
see, like we play it with 3 or 4 when the girls play with us.
So there could be a lot of reasons why I don't.
Well,
like
and
it.
then also when you play with the core, if you just played, because it also says the first few games play with the basic cards. And there's also another little deck that's the advanced cards that you.
I don't know if we did that
at one point, and then the expansions add another special dice and then more cards.
Okay.
There's some really cool stuff to it.
I don't know if we did that basic.
But
awesome.
It's a blast.
Sexy! Well, that was the segment, everyone. I hope you're enjoying all the games that we've been saying. We are now halfway through the top 100. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching this, and if you like this video, then click the subscribe button below to enjoy any video that I put out. And right next to that subscribe button is a little bell. Click that so you get notified of whenever I actually upload these videos. If you want to support the channel, you can definitely visit my Patreon page. The link is in the description below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.